Hello everybody, it's your boy N here. I'm coming at you guys with another YouTube video. So, Gley in the Supermassive Receptor dungeon might just be the easiest thing I've done in the game in a very long time. Let me show you the build and the setup, and basically, let's get right on into today's video. So starting off, mid-air maneuvering is going to be our maneuvering module because we like to take advantage of our movement. Other than that, for Gley, we're going to be focusing on two main things off the bat. That's cooldown and duration. For cooldown on Gley, we'll be going with MP conversion as well as nimble fingers. Other than that, we'll basically just be adding in focus on dimension. This is specifically because we only want the 6.1% cooldown. Now, to make Gley's firing loop infinite, we also need to balance out in terms of duration. In terms of duration, we want to be adding skill extension, maximize duration, and we are going to go with Battle of Stamina because Battle of Stamina also balances out in terms of HP. Now, when it comes to HP on Gley, this is literally going to be all you need. Even just these two on their own will provide you a very good amount of HP, over 20,000 with Gley, which is going to be easily obtainable slash what's the right word I'm looking for? Easily sustainable when it comes to using HP Collector, because that's going to be the gold mod we're using. Walking tightrope is absolute bollocks if you are always going to be at high HP, so you don't want to bother. Other than that, we're just using finishing touches on this build. So shot focus is going to be our module, and then for the final module, I'm going to be using critical point breakthrough. This is whenever you buff yourself, you get less defense but more movement speed, and with that, realistically, you have a buff number 1 from Frenzy and buff number 2 from your infinite ammo, so you get more movement speed up to 5 stacks when you use your infinite ammo with Gley. Now, I know some of you are sitting here wondering, why not Predator Instinct? It does not make a difference whenever I've tested it every single time, so Predator Instinct is not going to be present on this build. If you want to use it, feel free, I'm just not going to use it. Other than that, let's have a look at the trigger mod. For the trigger mod for Gley, we're going to be using Kuiper Hollow Points. Now let me quickly explain Kuiper Hollow Points because a lot of people have been using this wrong from what I've seen. Now, it replaces bullets with Kuiper Hollow Points and increases your base recoil. When you hit mobs with a weak point, you get force weakening, and this basically is based on the recoil reduction modifier. So essentially, you do not want lower recoil on this, you want more recoil in order to increase the trigger rate. So you want to be using a blue gold stat on this to get yourself the highest recoil possible, and then the trigger rate on here is going to be your best friend when you want to be taking advantage of the damage, so you want to be using Kuiper Hollow Points on here. If you do play on console and you hate the way the recoil changes your aiming, just don't use it and do not use a trigger mod, and you're basically fine. Simple, right? Next up, I'll quickly slap the weapons on Gley and let's have a look at her reactor. Now, for the weapons on Gley, it's going to be two of our nice all familiar friends, that being the Restored Relic and the Last Dagger, and then the final weapon is going to be the Deus Ex Manus. I'll come back to that a little bit later. Now, for the reactor, just cooldown duration up. Substats or the skill power boost ratio doesn't matter, only the substats do, so you just want cooldown and duration up. It can be whatever: electric, fire, chill, toxic reactor, and the two stats in the middle don't matter as long as it's cooldown and duration up at the bottom. Now, for the other part of your setup, you're just going to want to go with two pieces of the setup. We're going to be going with Shell Crusher immediately, and then we are also going to be going with 2 pieces of the Firebrand set. Firebrand is going to be here for duration, and the Shell Crusher is for fire rate. Now, for your substats, you want max HP and fire resistance, chill resistance and HP recovery modifier, electric resistance and defense, and then just toxic resistance. For Gley, she doesn't use MP, so we just want all of the resistances on her. And for your cores, you want max HP and defense on all of them. Basically, that's it. So it's nice and easy with Gley, especially on your cores for your external components. Next up, for the arcade tuning. For the arcade tuning on Gley, again, it's a very simple one. Because she's a gun descendant, we're just going to go all the way here and eat into multi-hit, especially for the Restored Relic. Then we're going to eat into firearm attack, again for damage. Then we're going to go up for our crit rate, and this is going to allow us to do even more damage, and we're just going to eat up and grab a little bit more multi right over there. So for Gley, nice and easy with the tree, just going to go straight into gunfire, pretty much as simple as it gets. Now this is important, listen up. The restored relic, we are going to be using fire. Fire is stronger than chill. The relic's inanimate built-in element is fire, so when you use full fire on the relic, this does the absolute most damage. Even if chill is more effective on the mobs, fire still does more damage, and it will still ratio the mobs faster. For your build on your relic, this is what you will go with. Just a little bit of multi and a lot of QOL and a ton of damage on the relic is going to be your best friend. Next up, let's go with the dagger. For the dagger, this is the substats that I got, and the cores. Again, the most important part on here is the double 20 fire rates. That's essentially it. The dagger we won't be using too much in this run, and the dagger is only here for a one thing, and that's pretty much it. Then the most important part of this is the Deus Ex Manus. This is going to be our boss killing weapon. The relic for mobbing, the dagger for a single target and maybe the boss, and the Deus is going to be our big boy when it comes to bossing. The most important thing on the Deus is going to be the overpower mod. This will allow you to do 124% crit damage whenever you slam one of the mobs. So that's pretty much it. For the inversions on Gley, this is what I've gone with. I've gone with the swordplay mechanism to allow for more melee damage, and then I've gone with HP on Gley because Gley is very much fundamental on that, and then strike point amplification for more damage whenever we use a multi-hit. Pretty simple when it comes to Gley. Now let me run Gley inside of the Supermassive Receptor dungeon where the mobs are 340, and I'll give you a quick disclaimer. Now with the sword, if you do end up swinging it and running out of ammo completely without re-looping Gley's infinite ammo, you'll be in a position where you cannot use the sword's unique slam. The last dagger is there in case that happens to you. You don't really want to be using the last dagger on the boss, but it's just there as a backup option. Now for this, I'll show you how fast Gley absolutely annihilates everything inside of this dungeon. So let's get on into it. W Dino, I like that. Based, valid. So with Gley, it's pretty much exactly what you'd expect. You go in, you activate her frenzy, you activate her infinite ammo, and then with the relic, you can see that basically 1 second of shooting anywhere is enough to completely wipe the room. The relics with the elemental kick of its own fire is really strong, and even in this instance got me grappling over to the right side to deal damage to the correct mobs. The relic was always a fire weapon, and now that we've kind of gone back to the fire on the relic, it's very nice and it does a lot more damage. Even for good old the Tyrant Raisin Claw over here, you can see the relic is just enough to ratio him as well. It's very easy, and just using Gley to nuke the daylights out of everything is just basically the simplest play with her. Kind of exactly what you want. You can see that first phase took me basically little to no time, so onto the second phase we go. Just want to go over here, jump over here, activate the infinite ammo again, clean off these mobs over here, they really don't require too much, and then over here with the relic again. And even the bubble enemies, you just decide to go straight into their bubbles. It doesn't matter, the relic will just home in on them and take care of them anyway, so you're completely balling on that front. The relic is basically the I will do everything for you weapon, and with Gley's setup it just works very well, and it's all about having the right element. Especially in here, using fire is going to be significantly more effective than every other element. Now over here, this phase is a very nice room for Gley, but just because of the way that the relic works. Again, just over here, take care of the 2 elites first, this elite as well. There you go, and now mobs spawn on that side. You can just stay over here and just, you know, relic. It's very effective. It's very simple, very easy, and just, you know, using the relic, once you learn the spawns and stuff as well, is basically just one brain cell gameplay. Exactly how we like it with Gley. You know how it goes. There's going to be an elite over there as well that you want to take care of, so same story over there. Essentially this is like as easy as it's going to get, and you can basically relax with Gley in here for the most part. It's just easy. Relic does everything for you, and then if you're having any issues, well, you really won't be. That's the truth. Even over here, you can just grapple over, skip this phase. If you're wondering how I do the little flick with my melee, with the grapple, you press your melee button before your grapple ends, and then you'll just go flying forward into the flick. This is a nice little movement trick that you should also be using as well. But yeah, you can see here, I'm basically just low efforting and just shooting with Gley, kind of how it is. And just the relic with the way that the relic is just so easy to nuke with. It's truly one of your best friends in this game. And I'm already almost at the boss fight, so I'll quickly give you a rundown of the boss fight. For this, we are going to use the sword, and then for basically one thing in the boss fight, we will be using the relic, is pretty much it. So let's head on into the boss fight real quick. I think it's really weird that it takes place inside of this really weird shape looking egg. Alright, over here, again, same thing, we're just going to use the relic on the mobs. Pretty much just nuke them. Then once Flores spawns in, we activate our 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Easy. Then this is where we pull the last dagger out. So the last dagger over here is going to be specifically for aiming at these things, just to nuke them as well. You could also use the dagger on here, or you could use the you could just use the relic on here as well if you want to be lazy. But either work very well. 1, 2, 3, boom. 1, 2, 3, boom. Flores down, and Gley dungeon done in under 4 minutes. Not too bad. Not too bad. Not the worst run, not the best run either. But well, yeah, there you go. That's pretty much what you would be expecting with Gley. But anyways guys, that's basically been today's video, and I hope you've enjoyed. If you did, please do smash that like button, and if you are new here, please do consider subscribing. I make plenty of videos on the first Descendant, and yeah, thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.